Picture this. I'm tinkering under my old Ford pickup in the quiet suburb of Willow Creek Estates, grease up to my elbows, when I hear the unmistakable click-clack of high heels crunching gravel like they're declaring war on my driveway. Up pops Meredith Harlow, HOA President Extraordinaire, with her clipboard shield and a smile so plastic it could be recycled into Tupperware. "Mr. Elias Thorne," she trills, like she's announcing a lottery win. "You skipped last night's mandatory, highly recommended, meeting, and oh boy, did you miss the vote of the century on that eyesore you call a shed." I wiped my hands on a rag, squinting up at her from under the truck. The shed, she meant, was my garage workshop, a sturdy outbuilding I'd hammered together myself back when this neighborhood was just dirt lots and dreams. It wasn't just storage, it was my sanctuary after retiring from the county water department, where I restored vintage motorcycles to keep the boredom at bay. But more importantly, it sat smack on the old utility easement, the one I'd inherited through a dusty developer clause, giving me sole control over the neighborhood's water mains and electrical feeds. Yeah, the kind of leverage you don't advertise unless some busybody forces your hand. Meredith adjusted her pearl necklace like it was a crown. The association has democratically decided to convert it into a communal yoga studio. It's been gathering dust for ages, and per our updated bylaws, it's in the shared green space zone. I crawled out, standing tall enough to make her crane her neck. Shared? Last I checked, my deed says it's mine, built with my sweat and permits from '98. You might want to double-check that map before you start redecorating my property. She didn't blink, just tilted her head like a confused robot. Our attorney assures us it's communal. The vote was unanimous, well, among those who showed up. Progress waits for no one, Mr. Thorne. And with that, she pivoted like a drill sergeant and click-clacked away, leaving me steaming in the afternoon sun. I could have yelled, could have chased her down, but no. I'd learned the hard way in this cookie-cutter hell. Willow Creek looked like a postcard. Manicured lawns, white picket fences, but underneath bubbled a cauldron of petty rules enforced by Meredith's iron fist. She'd already smeared me once, whispering to neighbors that my junkyard hobbies were devaluing properties. I stayed quiet then, observing how she twisted facts like pretzels. This time, though, this was war, but I'd play it smart, patient. Let her dig her own grave while I sharpened the shovel. The whispers started that evening. My phone buzzed with texts from nosy neighbors. Heard the HOA's turning your shed into a zen den. About time. I ignored them, instead pulling out my old utility blueprints and installing a few discreet trail cams around the workshop. By Saturday, the invasion began. A caravan of minivans rolled up, disgorging HOA loyalists in matching teal polos emblazoned with Willow Creek wellness warriors. Meredith led the charge, megaphone in hand, barking orders like a discount Napoleon. Stack those mats over there. Hang the motivational posters. Breathe in peace, exhale drama. Perfect. They'd nailed a gaudy sign to my gravel. Willow Creek Harmony Hub. I watched from my porch, coffee in hand, as they fiddled with my padlock using what looked like a butter knife. One guy, sweating profusely, muttered, "This thing's tougher than my mother-in-law." Finally, they popped it open. Technically not breaking, but close enough, and flooded inside, draping fairy lights over my half-restored '72 Harley and setting up a snack table on my workbench. Cheese cubes on my torque wrench? The audacity. I didn't storm over. Instead, I dialed my buddy Lyle, a no-nonsense attorney who'd handled my retirement papers. They just waltzed into my garage like it's a public park, I said, voice steady. Lyle chuckled, that gravelly laugh of his. Got the easement contract? The one from the developer. Safe and sound. Then they've poked the bear. Snap some pics, send 'em over. We'll start with a polite, get the hell out letter. But if they push, we go nuclear. That night, after they left, I swapped the locks for industrial-grade ones and flipped a hidden switch in the workshop's panel. The manual override that looped the neighborhood's utilities through my private line. Invisible for now, but a ticking bomb. Come Monday, Meredith hand-delivered a letter. Her face puckered like she'd sucked a lemon whole. Mr. Thorne, you're in violation of Article 7, Section 4. Obstructing communal enhancements. Fine starts at $150 daily unless you surrender the keys. She read it aloud, enunciating like a bad Shakespeare actor. I pocketed it with a nod. Duly noted. See you Friday. Her eyes narrowed. This is for the greater good. Think of the downward dogs we'll do in there. I smiled thinly. Oh, I'm thinking all right. Friday dawned crisp, and I parked my lawn chair with a view, thermos steaming. At 10 sharp, Meredith's entourage arrived, complete with ribbon and giant scissors that screamed, overcompensation. She plugged in a portable amp for her speech. Nothing. Dead silence. Then, chaos erupted down the block. Sprinklers sputtered out mid-arc. AC units whined to a halt. Garage doors jammed halfway. A lady shrieked, "The toilet won't flush. It's like the apocalypse." Meredith whirled, face flushing crimson. "What have you done?" I sauntered over, laminated contract in hand. "Me? Nothing. But see, those lines run under my land, and I've got the maintenance gig since day one. You trespassed, partied in my space. Now the grid's on vacation." She lunged for the paper, but I held it high. "Assault, Meredith? Really?" Volunteers scattered like roaches under light. One mumbled, "I thought it was legit." I addressed the crowd. "Paperwork's open book. Lawyers on speed dial for that restraining order." Her voice cracked. "Misunderstanding." But a cop car sirens wailed. Someone panicked over the outage. Officer Diaz stepped out, aviators gleaming. "Trouble." I laid it out, trespass footage contract. Meredith stammered, "We believed it was ours." Diaz eyed her. "Ma'am, breaking locks ain't belief. It's burglary." He reviewed my cams on-site, face hardening. "Dispatch a detective. This smells like organized idiocy." Meredith paced, muttering about community spirit. But Diaz shut her down. "Save it for your lawyer, lady." That was the spark. Neighbors who'd bought her BS started knocking on my door that night. Not mad, but enlightened. First, the Millers from next door, beers in hand. "She said your garage was abandoned HOA land." Tom admitted, sheepish. "Showed us a map at the meeting." I raised a brow. "A real map? Or one she doodled?" His wife, Lena, snorted. "And those admin fees she's been charging? No receipts. We asked once, and she quoted some bylaw about executive discretion." I leaned in. "She's dipping into the pot without votes?" They nodded. "Her cronies rubber stamp everything." I fetched my HOA charter copy, dog-eared at the transparency rules. Section 5. Any spend over $100 needs full disclosure and vote. Tom laughed bitterly. "She's been breaking that for years, calling it streamlining." We chatted late, and by morning, I drafted a petition for a full audit, emailing it neighborhood-wide with screenshots of her vague enhancement expenses, like $1,800 for morale boosters. Signatures poured in, 65% by noon, folks venting in replies about her nitpicky fines for unapproved flower colors or excessive holiday lights. I printed it, strolled to her office, a glorified shed she'd commandeered, and slipped it under the door. Her retaliation hit like clockwork. A code inspector knocked hours later. Tip about illegal commercial ops in residential zone. I showed my grandfathered permits. He sighed. Another false alarm. Then fire safety. Wiring hazards reported. Blueprints and certs shut that down. By week's end, 5 inspections, all bogus, all traced to her email. Harassment 101. Wrapped in civic duty. I met Lyle at a diner. "File with oversight," he growled. "This is abuse of process." We did, attaching everything. Footage, petition, inspection logs. The city bit, interviews rolled, subpoenas flew. Neighbors spilled. Altered maps, secret meetings. One confessed Meredith's whisper campaign. "Elias is a hoarder, dragging us down." I'd heard the rumors, bitten my tongue. Now, payback. The shift was palpable. Folks waved instead of avoiding eye contact. Baked goods appeared on my stoop. A padlock replacement with a note. "Sorry we believed her BS." At the next meeting, in the school gym, her shed flagged for violations. Meredith looked deflated, like a balloon post-party. I entered with Lyle, folder bulging. The room hushed. "Board time," I said. She protested. but Lyle cited charter. Open floor, no denials. I unloaded. Trespass, fraud, harassment, the forged map with her metadata stamp. Gasps rippled. She's toast, someone whispered. Lyle presented the dissolution motion. Applause erupted, not raucous, but damning. Meredith bolted, face ashen. The fuse was lit. Elections loomed. A week of simmering tension. Meredith ghosted, her allies dodging calls. Oversight dropped their bomb. Fraud evidence to DA. I was wrenching a bike chain when neighbor Sarah burst in. Phone aloft. News alert. Suburban scandal. HOA head embezzles thousands. The segment replayed my garage fiasco, then dropped the bomb. $50,000 siphoned over years, no traces. Panic spread. Lawn signs sprouted. Audit now. Ditch the dictator. One quoted her newsletter. Rules build harmony, with or pockets, scrawled below. I skipped campaigning but helped set up a town hall. Coffee, glitchy mic, 100+ turnout. Questions flew. If indicted, do we void her dumb rules? Candidates promised reviews, restitution. That night, Detective Hale called, traced funds to a phantom firm. Her sister's mailbox drop. Wire fraud, embezzlement brewing. Arrest soon. Pause. Days away. Meredith's house went dark overnight. Curtains drawn. Bin's curbside past her own fining hours. I tipped Hale. Bolo issued. She fled in a rental van. Cams caught it. Next day, ADA Reyes visited my workshop office. Sharp suit, no-nonsense vibe. Charges incoming. Embezzlement, forgery, conspiracy. Testify? Your easement ties the boundary fraud. Gladly. News exploded. Signs demanded justice. Election day, 85% turnout. New board Sarah. A contractor named Mike, accountant Lena. Froze funds, ordered audit. I watched from the sidelines as cheers rose. Tom clapped my back. Run next time. Nah, bikes over bureaucracy. The trial chilled the air. Sterile courtroom, tension thick. I testified calmly. Harassment timeline. False reports from her IP. Reyes grilled. Retaliation. Spot on, post-petition blitz. Defense probed. Cooperative with HOA before? Paid dues, followed rules. Till they invented new ones. Final witness. Accountant unveiling shell company trails. Structured dodges. Meredith paled. Attorney hushed her. Verdict. Guilty all counts. 5 years, parole at 3, full restitution. As bailiff led her out, no glances, just defeat. Outside, neighbors exhaled. Mike, now what? Rebuild. Audit recovered chunks, refunds issued. Sold her shed, built a real park. Transparency portal launched. Term limits enacted. Air lightened. Impromptu BBQs, kids games sans fines. 3 months post-trial, anonymous letter. Surrender the shed next time. I forwarded to Reyes. File it. She's muted in prison. One dusk, polishing a triumph in the workshop. Sarah visited with her kid, eyeing my tools. Open classes? Community fix it. Pondered, not forced but genuine. Maybe if they bring tools. Porch sitting later, sunset glowing, the neighborhood breathed free. I'd been the quiet observer, now the catalyst. But really, it was us versus her throne of nonsense. So, viewers, was shutting off the utilities vigilante justice or just enforcing real boundaries? Drop your thoughts. Was Meredith the villain? Or does every HOA need a reality check?